Avatar.
Avatar. Where do we begin?
A classic.
Oh,
Highest grossing film of all time. That's what they say.
all say, because it's true. But
Yeah, they do say that.
it's quite an outstanding achievement.
Yeah, look, you have to accept that it is number one in terms of making money.
By James Cameron. Wow. Do I restart?
Why?
We're playing outside.
No, that doesn't matter. I can't hear that shit. It's directional.
All right.
Wow, ruined already. No, we'll leave that in because
be ruined.
because we don't
Okay.
judge. All right, so this
Avatar.
This is my first try of using the book because we're at episode 5 now.
Yeah. Now, I specifically don't hate this film. I don't have any bad
Okay.
memories from it. So Nathan,
Yep.
for once, is going to be the one doing most of the talking and complaining, hopefully.
Well, yeah, this is the first one. Did you like Finding Dory? I think that was the only one that you...
What? Oh, wow, Finding Dory, yeah.
Whoa, what just happened?
I forgot about it.
Oh, well.
I didn't mind it. I feel like... Yeah, I feel like on the same level as Finding Dory with Avatar. Like, it was good, but it wasn't like... It didn't stand out. Like, I wouldn't watch it again.
Okay.
I wouldn't touch it again. And
Just
like,
leave it in the realm of... I saw
Yeah,
it.
it
I
was
liked
there.
it.
It was there. I can now tell people...
Did you go to the
that,
movies to see Finding Dory? Did you pay money?
Yes, I paid
Okay,
money.
I didn't.
Didn't pay money to see Avatar.
Well, I did. So this is one I remember I saw when it came out. And for someone who likes movies so much, I rarely go to the movies. So that's a big deal.
That's true.
I probably go like 3 times a year, I reckon.
And 2 out of 3 times is, of course, crappy horror films.
Yeah. Get
Paranormal
sucked
Activities,
into
Conjuring
paranormal.
2,
I've seen every paranormal activity at the cinema.
Annabelle.
Which I hated.
Were you there for Don't Breathe?
No,
No, you were invited.
wasn't invited. Awkward.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got a quiz. I thought I would do something fun.
Yeah, sure.
A quiz for you.
Oh,
So, well, it's not a quiz for you. It's a quiz
hate
for anyone
quizzes.
listening. Well, okay. It's more an interesting fact that I think is pretty interesting. So, Avatar, highest grossing film of all time.
yep, knew that.
So its budget was 237 million, and then another 9 million for the re-release. So the box office,
We'll get to the re-release.
the box office was 2.788 billion. So that's a lot of millions.
It is. It's a few
Insane.
billions
Yeah.
as well.
Nearly made 3 billion. Yeah. So I did a little bit of research and I looked up the highest grossing films of all time. So that's like whatever replaced what last ones till they started
Okay,
recording
yeah.
them back to the early 1900s.
Oh, wow.
So here's a question. So it's like a multi-level quiz. There's a few different questions. How many top grossing films of all time do you think there have been? So obviously there's been more than one, but like how many do you think have like overtaken to be the highest grossing? So you think about it like, so we've had Avatar now for nearly 10 years.
Okay.
Titanic we had for like 12 years before
Yeah.
that. And then before
in the last century.
well, that's only how long movies have been going. Well, the first one was 1915, was when they started recording it.
Okay.
So that's the first film was 1915. So how many do you think there've been? Never mind the fact people are listening and this is really dull.
No.
this is fun.
Well, if they are, like, it's a
Dead
hard
air.
question. I mean, really, because the 90s was a pretty big year for movies like Jurassic Park, Phantom Menace, Titanic, all hitting new goals and boundaries. I think Jurassic Park was the first movie over $1 billion.
You're right, Jurassic Park. So if we go back, so we had Avatar is currently the highest grossing, then we had Titanic. So you
Phantom
did step
Menace.
back. Jurassic Park for a while was the highest grossing.
Phantom Menace was
No,
higher,
no, no.
wasn't it?
That was after Titanic.
Oh, okay.
That was the
did
second
go-
highest.
Yeah.
It was the second highest
did
grossing
go
for a
up.
while. Yeah, but it wasn't highest.
Or 80s. I'm trying to think of 80s now.
Oh, you want to step back, do you? That's actually more fun. Let's do it that way.
Oh, all right.
So you've got to step back to Jurassic
You know
Park.
the answers.
Yeah, it's a quiz for
Cheating.
you.
Oh, all right.
Well, someone had to know the answers. Well, because it was a question. The way as I was watching Avatar, so I watched the extended version that went for 3 hours, and there was so much I couldn't remember. So I started I was drifting off. So I started thinking of other things.
Yeah.
So I've written down all my thoughts, and this was just like, I wonder what the other highest grossing films of all time are. All right, so we got Avatar, Titanic, Jurassic Park, which was 1993. Keep going.
Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, okay. So there was only one in the 80s, and it was the same year as Empire Strikes Back.
Which, what
83,
year was
1983. So it was 10 years before it. I'll give you a clue. We've recently done a video about it. It's a Spielberg movie.
Oh, E.T.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Oh.
Okay, that was the fourth. So that was the highest grossing all through the 80s, pretty much.
Yep.
Till Jurassic Park took it. The one before that.
Jaws.
That is, but there's one between E.T. and Jaws. Ooh. So Jaws was for a while. It's a classic. It's
Star
like
Wars.
the film. Yep,
Yeah,
Star Wars.
yeah.
Yep. So that was highest grossing.
I think they came out in the same year, didn't they? 1977.
No, Jaws was 1975.
Okay.
But it overtook in 1976 because remember, like they've got to be out for a while to make the money.
Yeah.
So Star Wars was 1978. It took over,
God.
released in 77.
Yep.
Jaws is 1976. It became the highest, released in 1975. Before that, we're going back now. You'll know this film is another one that's considered like the greatest film of all time. It actually is on IMDb.
Is it
pretty sure.
70s? In the 70s?
70s, yeah.
Okay.
It was only a couple of years before Jaws, and it's considered like another classic. I'm pretty sure IMDb it is the highest grossing, highest rated, highest ranked, whatever you want to call it.
Okay. Before Jaws.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Once you know it, you'll be like, oh yeah, obviously.
It's when you've got to really think about.
It's one of those ones I can't really give you a clue because you'll get it straight away. Early 70s. Think early 70s.
Finding hair from my mouth.
Think early 70s.
Oh. No, I was going to say American Graffiti, but no. It wouldn't be
Good thinking, but no, not
Indiana
more
Jones.
classic, more iconic.
Encounters of the Third Kind.
No. You're on the right track, but
I'm feeling
even more
it's
classic.
sci-fi.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, man.
I'd consider it's more epic.
More epic. How am I not knowing
Like
this?
large scale, 3 hours. It had actually had 3 sequels, I think. The sequel to it was considered almost as good or even better. Had Robert De Niro in it. The sequel had Robert De Niro. Horse's head in the bed.
Oh, Godfather.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
We had to get there eventually.
I always forget when the Godfathers are made. I keep thinking they're like early 80s.
Yeah, they're like timeless, aren't they? Like it could have been made any time.
Yeah,
It was
haven't
still a big
seen
classic.
the Godfather actually.
Okay, so the next one. So this one was kind of weird. So there was 10 highest grossing films of all
We're up to
time.
5, 6 now.
We've gone through 6. So you've had Avatar, Titanic, Jurassic Park, E.T., Star Wars, Jaws, Godfather. So the next one actually was the second highest grossing film of all time in terms of like it was the highest grossing film. It's the second one. So then there was a third one, and then this one overtook briefly because they re-released it, and it re-overtook, which is weird. You wouldn't know this one. So Gone with the Wind.
Oh, I was going to say that.
Oh damn, we should have. Oh, now we'll never know. What do you think it is?
No, Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, Gone with the Wind.
Yeah,
so that was released in
because
So it got re-released in 1971.
Yeah.
And overtook. This is the next one. I want to see if you get it. It overtook another film. I'll tell you what. So I think it was released 1965, and it came highest grossed in 1966.
Oh, okay.
So before that was Gone with the Wind, and then Gone with the Wind overtook it again because they re-released.
I remember
it.
they adjused to inflation.
No,
much it made.
not just
Gone
that,
with
because it
Gone
actually
with
got
the Wind.
re-released and the money
Yeah.
it made on the re-release.
But the inflation from that era.
Well, these are all considered with inflation though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because the film the money doesn't keep
So
inflating.
1966.
It overtook 1965. So I'll try and do it again without too many clues. So it's another classic.
James Bond.
No, good thinking. No, because that would have been around that time.
Oh, Ben-Hur.
Oh, good. No, not Ben-Hur. That was 50s.
Lawrence
I
of
think.
Arabia.
No, all good guesses though. You'll get there if you keep doing it this way.
I hate it. What's that movie? Jason the Argonauts.
No. Okay, you're thinking too epic. It's a musical. I can see the gears of your brain. I'm glad we're filming this.
I'm really thinking. Oh my god. Singing in the Rain?
No.
Oh,
I think that's 50s. But it's basically that. as in the film you couldn't. It's close. You're very close.
What is it?
It's got
What is it?
a British actress as the main character. Set in the World War II.
Annie?
No.
World
World War II. No. Same actress though.
Really?
Her other one.
Oh,
Her
what?
other film. Her other film. It's got the iconic. She's like in a field and she's spinning around.
The song of our years.
Wow.
No, sound. Oh, the mountains. Oh.
The hills are alive. What are the
Sound
hills?
of Music.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. The whole podcast and it's over. We're there. No. Yeah, good. Yeah, the Sound of Music.
That was stressful.
So that was the highest grossing pretty much all through the 60s. And then before that was Gone with the Wind, 1940.
That's an amazing.
Do you want to have a guess at the one that was 1915?
Amazing movie. King Kong.
No, but good guess. But that was probably about the same year, but no. Just to see if you get it.
What's that film? Metropolis?
Another good guess? No. You probably won't get this one. Because I wouldn't have got it either.
Is it a Charlie Chaplin
No,
film?
I'll tell you. No, another good guess.
Don't.
Okay, well, we could be here all day. No, I'll just tell you. It's The Birth of a Nation.
No.
Which was like an epic film. I think it was like sort of another World War II. Yeah.
World War II.
Basically, I think
World War II in
I think
1915.
cracking the code to get the highest grossing film is you'd have to be Steven Spielberg, James Cameron, or have a movie set in World War II.
Birth of a Nation.
Of the nature.
World War II film in 1915.
World War One, then maybe. Oh wow, I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah, I can pin you on stuff as well.
I'm gonna go home.
Yeah.
Well, it was. I think Birth of a Nation was about Germany.
Okay. Well,
And the rise of the rise of the We'll do that one eventually when we get back. We're gonna get through all the films till we get to 1915. So we might be here for
200th
few
episode.
Years. Yeah. 200. There's only 200 films.
Back onto Avatar though.
Yeah, well, that was a fun game.
But like, I think that's a good eye opener.
Yeah, it's good to see what people
when you look at
choose. Now you can bring
it down. Okay, when you look at it here, think of the impact that all these movies have had.
Yeah.
They're all classics that people still talk about to this day. Avatar, though, still sticks out because, it's just, I don't know, there's heaps of follow-up on all these films. Like, you can...
there's like a pattern. I think there's a logical pattern.
Cult favourites, and they're still...
Well, I think every film that got released changed cinema in some way.
Avatar did, but for the wrong reasons, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Took it too far in terms of technology.
Yeah.
But so took a few steps back in terms of story.
3D. That was the whole hype of why you should go see it, is because it was in 3D and it was this whole new world.
Well, most of it was in IMAX and 3D, of course, where the tickets are 3 times the amount of regular cinema.
Yeah. What? Oh,
that's where most of your
did I just witness a stroke?
Yeah.
It's just like the train of thought.
The multi-layered questionnaire is hurting still.
The what one?
The multi-layered questionnaire.
What? The highest grossing film?
Yeah.
Oh, still your brain's still trying to flick through.
Still like, am I wrong? Am I right?
No, it's good. You got a few of them.
But I mean, like all these films, you could watch dozens of times.
Well, they're classics except for except for maybe Titanic, which I saw once, and that's enough for me.
Well, that's another one. Like that's the time where CGI was just coming in, being used as a tool rather than just a way to fluff in the story. Like the story relies on the CGI because in Avatar he wants all these grand, majestic things where it can only be created through CGI for the story. Whereas with Titanic, it was used as just we need to have a big, wide of a ship in the water.
Well, yeah, it was an epic. Yeah, well,
but they didn't need it though. We knew we were on the Titanic. If you know what I mean. Yeah,
but see, this is the thing that let's go back to 2009. Classics.
If we have to.
What confused me was they were trying to market 3D like it was something new. Whereas I remember, like 2 or 3 years earlier, going to see Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Taylor Lautner and the other girl who...
What a movie.
I forget her name, which I should have looked that up.
I had a crush on her at the time, being about 17 years old.
So the thing to me was like, I was feeling a bit cheated before I'd even gone in, because I was like, I've just seen a 3D film and you're trying to tell me this is new?
Spy Kids 3D, I believe, was the first 3D movie I ever watched in the cinema.
Yeah. Yeah, and that exactly,
film,
Spy Kids
film. Sylvester Stallone was in it.
But still a 3D film before Avatar. So Shark Boy and Lava Girl, 2005.
3D. It's been done.
Kristen Davis, I think her name was. No, Taylor Dooley. Oh, yeah, that's right, because their name was Taylor, and I found that funny.
Oh,
so you got Taylor Lautner as Shark
Dooley.
Boy, Taylor Dooley as Lava Girl. What's Taylor Dooley doing at the moment?
Oh, wow, she's She looked really in her 30s, but she's actually a year
What else
younger
was she
than
in?
us.
Monster Night?
Monster Night, Hell
What's she doing?
Mountain.
Hell Mountain.
Grimacing
Oh, she was in an episode of
Manor,
House in 2008.
Apology.
Okay, nothing. All right. Look, anyway, so $3 billion nearly. So that's like a lot of people went and saw it, obviously, which is like self-explanatory.
Well,
but I want to know
IMAX, it's
why.
all
This
the
is what I want to
3D.
get to. The hype again.
Because-
We're getting back to the hype.
Because Shark Girl and Lava Boy, Nathan.
What? Who?
Wait.
Shark? It's right in front of you. Shark Boy and
you've
Lava
scrolled
Girl.
it.
No,
Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
you said Shark Girl and Lava Boy. That would be the sequel. They go transgender. No, they changed their species.
Oh, they go... Yeah.
No, they changed their gender.
Yeah.
Transgender.
Of course,
It's a message for the modern era.
To, all the... LG... Was it LBGT?
Yeah.
Community. Gay, lesbian,
LGBT.
bi, gay, transvestite community.
Yeah.
Okay. Community that is fan
Their
of
gender,
the
their
Adventures of Shark
genders
Boy
are
and
as
Lava
fluid
Girl.
as the water Shark Boy swims through.
And
There's a tagline. No? Okay. So this is the thing. So, all through the film while I was watching it, did you rewatch it, by the way? I want to get you on recording saying you didn't.
Oh, no.
How much did you try?
I downloaded it.
So in spirit you watched it. But this is good. So what we'll do is you're talking from your memories of 2009 and I'm talking having just watched it 2 nights ago.
I don't remember...
And I watched Pocahontas.
I don't even remember what we ate for lunch today. Honestly.
I know, so you wouldn't remember
We had
anyway.
tuna and corn.
Yeah, the beautiful mix. We'll talk about... We'll do a cooking show as well. Cooking with Shaun and Nathan.
Going back to the point though,
Yeah.
hype. No one gives a shit about the Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
No.
No one over the age of
I
5.
did. I liked it. I actually liked that film because I remember the best part was George Lopez. He was the electric guy. What was his character name?
The electric
38
guy.
on Meta.
Mr. Electric.
Mr. Electric.
Yeah, real original.
No, Mr. Electricidad. Mr. Electricidad because he was Latino.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But there's more hype around Avatar being...
But why? Because it's still 3D.
Because it's not a movie about a shark boy and a lava girl.
Yeah, but...
It looks beautiful. It's stunning. It's a very
I
good
want to watch Shark Boy and
film.
Lava Girl. Can we watch Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
I don't. We have to watch Tammy, we have to watch Tammy and the T-Rex tonight.
Yeah, Tammy and the T-Rex. That's one to tick off the list.
But no, Avatar looked good.
Yeah.
Very dramatic. And I have to admit, when I watched it for the
Okay.
first time, late at night,
Yep.
I remember there was a part of the movie where I got really bored. I think it was...
Yeah, for me, that was most of it.
I think it's the part where they're healing the person under the tree.
Yeah.
And they're riling everyone up. I got so bored.
Look,
It's a long film.
I want to go through some of my notes, if you'll indulge me, and we'll talk about the film around the notes, and tell me what you remember. So I was writing.
Hair sex. That's
Yeah,
the
wait,
fir-
you're jumping ahead.
That's
Hang
the
on.
first note I see is hair sex.
Hair sex. That was about halfway through the film where they're doing ponytail, or as Cinema Sin says, ponytail fucking. It's just like their hair joins. You know, it's like,
Oh.
and then they're like, she
I
moans.
don't remember that.
We were watching a video about Avatar just before, and they showed.
No, I switch off.
Oh wow. Okay, so my first note is first 5 minutes I don't remember. So I think because I was watching the extended edition,
me
it
either.
wasn't in the film. So do you remember the film starting? He's on the ship and he's like in the little pod because he's got no legs and he's like
Yeah, he's in
the
the cry tube.
Yeah, so there's a whole 5 minutes where he's like on Earth and he's like at a bar, a sports bar, and he's depressed and he's in a wheelchair, and it's like going through his backstory. That wasn't in the original film, was it?
No.
Anyway, so
It didn't need to be in the film.
I just
though.
wrote, so he's a Marine living life as a paraplegic. And another thought I had was,
Living life as a palette.
why are they Marines if they're in the sky? There's no water. Marine was like Marine.
Marine
Why do they
is
call them Marines?
associated with water.
Because like even, the game Halo, they call them Marines.
Yeah.
But they've got nothing to... Is it just because the ships resemble submarines?
Maybe. Well, some of the ships did remind me of Halo a lot.
Oh, that was... So one of the...
Let me have a look for you while you talk,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'll tell you. Halo
Look on your iPad. That's what you got the iPad for.
vehicles.
I can hear that typing. It's getting picked up. Use your iPad. Big boy.
No.
I shouldn't say that. Yeah, so anyway, we'll get on to that.
See, look.
But, yeah, I know.
Remember those
Yeah,
vehicles?
yeah.
So there's
You're right.
Halo
They were
3,
just the same,
for the
yeah.
Halo 3 fans out there,
We'll get to that.
There's a flying ship with
Don't
two
worry,
fans.
I've got a whole section of
two
notes.
fans. I think it's called like a wasp or a bee, and they go and you fly them around. And some of the bigger ships as well.
Use the iPad.
Also do like that as well. Those big.
Yeah.
I think they're pelicans.
Yeah.
So I reckon Avatar definitely stole from Halo.
Yeah,
Marines
I've written a whole bunch of things he ripped off, and that was the other sort of idea I wanted to talk about with Avatar is like how is it possible to have like an original film anymore, or all the ideas so taken that you just anyway. Look, let's get onto it. So another thing is talking about like ripping off. So one of the first lines from Miles Quaritch, who's the head of security.
Okay.
So the company is the backstory. Obviously, is like. I don't even remember this part. They're the Resources Development Administration, RDA. And they're obviously mining Pandora, the planet, for unobtainium, which is the really
Unobtainium.
Unobtainium is what it's called.
Unobtainable unobtainium.
Yeah.
Do they make that joke in the film?
That's what it's called. Oh. Yeah, they make some quip about how like it's unobtainable. Oh. Yeah, it's dumb. So he says, "You're not in Kansas anymore." That's one of his first lines. So I'm like, oh, here we go. So it's like reference to, Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, right.
You should have guessed Wizard of Oz. That would have been a good guess for highest grade.
Yeah,
but it wasn't big at the time. It grew. Anyway.
I liked it.
Next note, Sam Worthington sucks. He was terrible. Like I can't say anything good about him.
Looking at the notes here, it said before that Sam Worthington was cast because he hadn't been in a big film yet.
Yeah, he wanted it none. Yeah, so that's true. You tell me the story. Have you got the story, or are you just trying to find it now?
Well, I'm just trying to find. No, it was just a quote saying that he was cast.
No, but that's true. Yeah. So there was someone else considered because Avatar was actually originally planned in 1994. The first treatment was written.
Cameron felt that because Worthington had not done a major film, he would give the character a quality that is really real.
Yeah, the quality of a guy that you want to have a beer with. So that's what he was trying to be, like the everyman.
He's an everyman. He's from Kansas, so...
Oh, well, actually... Wait, what?
No, well, he's sitting in a bar in Kansas.
Yeah.
I think he's... Every day,
oh, wait, was he actually in Kansas at the start of that film?
Everyday Joe Schmuck.
Is that what it was supposed to be?
Well, no, I'm just...
Are you making that up?
I'm just... Yeah, I am, but...
With the line, "You're not in Kansas anymore."
Yeah.
It's from...
Yeah.
The witch says that.
Oh.
No, Dorothy says it to Toto the dog. "We're not in Kansas anymore," because they're not in Kansas. I did like a Boston accent. Anyway, okay. Let's not get onto accents.
Well, I thought Sam Worthington might have been from Kansas.
If he was, that's even more dumb. Sigourney Weaver is hot. Still got it.
No,
no disagreements there.
She's aged very well.
She aged very well in that.
Bit spiteful though. I remember she was a bit of a bitch and like a really angry, like a face of like a really old fox.
Yeah, uptight.
Like an old fox.
Yeah,
leathery fox.
Okay. Does that mean I find leathery foxes hot?
I'm really joking.
Oh, okay. The scene where he becomes an avatar is dumb.
I don't even remember that.
So I wrote a few things that
he falls asleep in the animatronic thing.
Yeah.
It sucks his mind and puts it into a blue dude.
Yeah.
Where do they get the blue dude from though?
Doesn't even make sense. It's like I think they've just captured them. They captured one. So what happened? The reason they got Sam Worthington at all was because his brother died.
Yeah.
And they had to go. He had to replace him because of the same DNA. It like only links with DNA because they're all spiritual.
So no one else's brother or sister.
No, only he could do it. So it was a genetic. Okay. It's like a kidney. It's like a genetic match.
Okay, but why? What I would like to have seen though is if like the backstory of the blue dude that they captured.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, here's this blue avatar guy. No backstory on this guy. Yeah. Like what happened to him? He could have been a really nice guy.
Yeah, well, you never know. That's the thing. So then, like, they're playing basketball, running, and then he's doing some kind of like Full Metal Jacket training, where it's like this whole setup that he's going to train to use his body as an avatar, and he goes crazy running. The scene is so stupid. Like he's running like an idiot because like he hasn't run for ages since he's paraplegic. Yeah. It was so stupid.
Really?
Also, it reminds me of the Matrix. So you've got to plug in and plug out of the avatars, like you're going into the Matrix.
Yeah.
It's not an alternate universe, but it's the kind of thing where like he gets plugged in. His brain, he's like asleep, and he gets.
And he's sort of vulnerable because that's what happens in the Matrix as well. He's very vulnerable, and something tries to kill him. I think when he's like laying there in the tube, and they're like trying to protect him. Doesn't he get hit by something?
Are you talking about like as the Avatar?
Yeah. No, in the Matrix when Neo's laying on the
Matrix now.
When Neo's laying on the bed,
yeah,
he's like that's what it reminds me of. Like,
yeah, that's right.
He doesn't.
I said that. That was just my note. Then now you're taking it.
No, I'm expanding on it.
Oh, expanding on it.
So
okay.
I think
it's not stealing. So James Cameron's not stealing either.
No, he stole from the Matrix a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely did. So my next note is it looks better in 2D. So when I first watched it, I was with my girlfriend at the time, and we watched it in 3D, and that like because I think 3D drains a bit of the color out. So the colors were really vibrant. I was watching it in the 2D. And I think 3D sucks a bit of the color quality out. And I love what like color.
Well, we recently watched, well, not recently, but 2 and a half years ago, Star Wars Episode 7 in 3D.
Yeah,
in the
a year
cinema.
ago. Just over a year ago.
Was it?
December
Yeah,
2015.
wasn't it?
Just over a year
Oh my
ago.
gosh.
Yeah, 2.5 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was 2.5 years ago? Anyway, Godzilla was that 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
But let's
move on from that. We've done.
Yeah, 3D. I'm not. Again, we're not too much. We're not fans of 3D. I think.
No, and our friend who always books, we always rely on him to book the tickets. Books 3D, and it's disgusting.
He's the only fan of 3D.
It's not even really 3D. It's like a little bit of depth. That's the part that annoys
It's like
me.
a shitty kid's picture book. Only some of the parts pop
It's
up.
not like Shark Boy and Lava Girl quality. So then I said the first monsters they encounter are pretty badass. So there's like the big hammerhead monster, and a giant like Bulbasaur thing. It's got like the pedal sort of flap.
Oh yeah.
So those are pretty cool. And then so as I was watching, there was
rip-offs. You ripped off the dinosaurs. Go on.
Yeah, there was so much I don't remember. Yeah. There was a little black dogs in the flame. So he had like a torch and he's like whacking these little dogs. They were like these little black things and they were, and he was whacking them. And that's how he meets the girl. So she comes and sort of saves him. She gets an arrow and she starts shooting them with her arrow.
That's horrible.
So that's when I started seeing the Pocahontas comparison with her. But it's sort of like Pocahontas is from the girl's perspective, Avatar's from the guy's perspective.
Yeah. Which is fine though. It's fine to have it from the guy's perspective.
Yeah. Then I was like, Phoebe's brother is in the movie. The corporate guy. He's Frank and Phoebe from Friends. Yeah, the brother's in it. And he plays like, the jerk corporate guy who plays golf.
Stereotypical.
Weaver has to like knock the
guilty.
golf. Yeah.
No,
knock the
it's
golf
like
out of his hand.
nothing's changed. What year is this based in? 2150 or something?
2154, I think. Yeah.
54.
And that
nothing's changed.
Apparently is
Still greedy.
200 years after James Cameron's birthday of 2054. 1954.
Oh, the ego.
So, yes, the ego.
Gotta suck in his whole life into it. But again, stereotypical, boring character.
Yeah, that's right.
Nothing's changed in 150 years.
Exactly.
We're all just... Yeah, but sorry, go on.
Well,
I'll get
one
to
of
it.
his line, one of those, the Frank, the brother from Friends, he says, shareholders hate a bad quarterly statement. So that's I wrote that down because that's basically the whole motivation for the film of why they're going into the planet.
Because they need more money.
Well, the company they work for, they just got to get this unobtainium. And my kind of thing is like, is it really that important? Like,
they've conquered space travel.
I know, there's so many, like
they're,
the ships they're on and stuff, like how valuable is this stuff?
Well,
like how greedy are these
expensive.
shareholders? Yeah.
Bloody expensive. Inflation.
Inflation?
Like
yeah.
this little...
What is inflation?
This little
What's
nugget,
inflation?
when the price goes up over a number of years. Okay. Yeah, I did a business diploma. Like this little nugget he's got is worth like $1 trillion.
Yeah.
That's like all of America's debt almost.
Well, 21 trillion, but yeah.
Well,
20 trillion, I think they're right now. I wrote, so
Inflation.
Jake, the character, so Sam Worthington's character's name is Jake Sully. He keeps a vlog. And then there's this stupid montage. So he's like, his vlog becomes like the voiceover for the film. And there's a montage over them bonding with Neytiri. Neytiri's the girl, the main girl. Oh, no, sorry, Neytiri.
Let's call it Neytiri.
Who's played by Zoe Saldana, who has been in a few other things, but I can't bother looking those up.
Me either.
So there's all these terms, and that's why I was like, there's a whole language here, so I started writing some of them down, and then I got bored of doing that. So there's like, basically they work, so they're the Na'vi, which is their language. They call themselves the Sky People.
Okay.
Or the Omatikaya, which is their translation for like the people.
Do you think James Cameron was sitting in his office and he said, "Look, producer, I got a great little
Well, he is
twist."
the producer.
He produced it as well.
Yeah.
Well, he said, did he write it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he said to one of his friends, and he said, "Let's call them the Sky People because the Navy are coming in." Sea, air.
Yeah.
See the comparison?
Well, so anyway, the blue creatures, they run off this network of energy. And so the line I got that sums up pretty well is, so she says, all energy is borrowed and one day we have to give it back. I was like, that's actually pretty good. That's cool. And then I wrote, the language is complex, there's too much to write down, so I stopped.
But hang on, they are giving it back because they're... Alright, here we go.
Oh, wow.
Listen, they've got... their energy comes from the giant tree, correct? Or was that their...
Well, that's what I was getting to that. So they call it the sacred tree.
Well, then they are giving it back because the carbon dioxide, the trees take it in and expel oxygen. So
No, it's not that simple. They don't use. They
I
don't,
think it should be.
wait.
I think it should be an avatar.
It's called Iowa. EYWA, and that's like their god. So that's like the energy spirit, right? So they're in tune with the Iowa.
How do they know about religion? They're a tribe.
No.
A tribe.
It's like it's not religion as we know it. It's like their spirituality. So it's the concept that they're all connected, right?
Okay.
And that's why they're in tune with nature.
Okay.
So, there's the scene where there's those little like tentacle. I'm doing the hand gesture, which you can't hear, but they're like those little things. Remember that scene, which is meant to be the iconic, massive thing where they're like looking up, and the camera goes back, and you're looking at me like you have no idea.
Oh,
those little jellyfish things. Yeah. So they're called.
Do you think my nipples are really pink on camera?
I don't care. Why are you thinking that?
I just had a thought.
Okay. Wow.
No, the jelly. No,
I'll type it in.
No,
So
I'll look it up. I've got the iPad.
Type in the seeds of the sacred tree. That's what they call those.
Oh.
So there's just so many things. So there's the ikran, which are the flying birds. So those the birds that they connect with, because you can only connect with one of them.
Also a rip-off.
Yeah.
Dinotopia.
Yeah.
Children's dinosaur show.
Yes, Dinotopia.
So the story is the guy comes in and he wants to sky riders, I think they're called, and they have to go through rigorous training, and they sort of get connected to the right pterodactyl or whatever, pterodactyl.
Yeah.
And it becomes on an emotional level, and if the pterodactyl doesn't like you, it'll kick you off.
Right. Well,
so
it's basically
in Avatar, let me ask you this, because you've actually seen it.
Yeah.
Is the one that he goes for considered the really tough one to go to?
No, he gets a shit one that maybe falls. It just falls down.
Like
I just saw the video of that
like
too.
Really aggressive?
No, it's shit.
Okay, it's really shit. But still, in Dinotopia, he has trouble flying it, and he flies it around, but he eventually gets a hold of it.
Okay.
Bam.
Good.
James Cameron watched Dinotopia.
Another comparison is the machine robots. Where he goes into the robot? He's like standing in it. Do you remember there was this old Xbox game called Mechasalt 2?
Oh, man.
Lone Wolf. And it's exact same robots. So it's just like what you've pointed out with the Halo. He's just stolen these robots from all these old video games. From like the mid-2000s.
No one plays Halo 3 anymore.
Well, and this is what I think is like, did he really seriously see Mechasalt 2 Lone Wolf? And like, I'm going to take that idea? Or is it just like that the ideas are being recycled so much? It's like that there's only so much. Like, is the thought of... Hang on. So there's like the thought of, I can put a guy in a robot armor suit that'll attack. Because that's in Matrix 3 as well. They've got they go in the robot suits. Matrix Revolutions.
Shit film.
Where they shoot at another shit film. But it's more the idea. So
Aliens?
Can you copyright that idea? Or is James Cameron, did he just come up with it independently?
Oh, well, Aliens...
Because he came up with this in 1994 was the first treatment.
Aliens had the same thing as well.
Yeah. So is that really ripping off films though? That's my question.
No, I think there's only so much you can do with mech warriors.
Well, that's another thing. Like, so I think he sort of gets like a little bit too much hate for ripping off other things. The other thing I wrote was the girl from Lost is in it, and she's like this really intense shit character.
Which one's that?
The girl from Lost, the one. The one, she's
brunette?
The chick, and she turns... Yeah, the brunette, she turns the ship around. She's like, I didn't sign up for this shit. And she just flies the ship away.
Oh,
and she starts fighting
Rodriguez.
Yes, Michelle Rodriguez.
The manliest girl
I know her
in
as Girl
film
from
ever.
Lost, yeah.
She always plays a manly lady.
She does, yeah.
In SWAT and all that, she's got like... She's more manly than some of the co-stars.
So, it was interesting. The last hour is actually the invasion kind of thing.
Yes.
Oh, they do the first invasion, and then they retreat, and then they go for the full
They come back all angry.
I wrote, the last hour managed to be so action-packed, yet so boring at the same time. Just like this podcast.
You get lost. Did I actually say that?
No, I just said improvisation.
What was I looking up on my iPad about the tree?
The seeds of the sacred tree is what they called them.
Well, you kind of get lost in the action sometimes. It can really drag on. A lot of movies have this same problem.
Well, the other thing is, like, my question was, her and Sam Worthington's character, Jake Sully, turn and start fighting for the Na'vi against them. Yes. But he knew that. He knew that he was starting to sympathise. The Quaritch, the Duke Nukem / toy small soldiers looking
the general guy.
Chip Hazard from Small Soldiers. You have to do that. Look up Miles Quaritch, Chip Hazard. Put that in Google and look at the comparison. It's beautiful.
I'm on Seeds of Sacred Tree.
They knew though that they sympathised with them. Yeah, those things, the little seedy things. Look up Seeds of the Sacred Tree.
I am.
They're supposed to be. I'm telling other people at home or wherever you listen to a podcast from the void, from the afterlife. She also said, I wrote down Michelle Rodriguez says Rogue One is hit. Rogue One is hit. She said Rogue One. I found that interesting.
I didn't.
Okay.
I thought it was really obnoxious.
So
hang on. Why am on the topic though?
Be quick.
I was really obnoxious that she joined the crew.
Yeah.
I was actually really happy she died in the film. I was like war paint and like I think who was I think it was Red Letter Media. She starts revolting, though she's done hours.
Yeah, that's I know. Yeah, I was just saying that.
Training into it.
Yeah,
She just changes.
Well,
her
she's
mind.
done years of training, presumably, if you're a Marine.
Yeah, like
That's ridiculous. She just changes straight away. This whole let's just go a bit more general now. So this whole project reminds me of a film called Megalopolis by Francis Ford Coppola. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard of that? It was it was his failed project. It was going to be like the biggest film of all time, and every actor in Hollywood's had been attached to it at some point, and it's just never been made because it's just so ambitious. It was supposed to be set. It was like this guy who's like an entrepreneur, who it's like the story of the Fountainhead, where he's like fighting against like the government. It's sort of like, Iron Man, like Tony Stark, like he's this big entrepreneur and he's trying to get like all this stuff done, like trying to create like this big massive city or something. And it's just got all this opposition. It was like a political thriller. It was going to be an epic, and it never got off the ground. And my thing was, some things are better as an idea. Do you think maybe that should have been? That's my thought about this. I'm like, maybe Avatar was better as an idea.
Maybe I feel like it would have been good if they just waited a little bit longer and then had it as a Netflix series, maybe like a really high budget Netflix
really
series.
Because
it's more like, it feels like something that should have been a TV series, not just a big jumbly 3-hour.
It's funny you mentioned that because I said this movie would be better as a video game. And my last thought, how is this the highest grossing film of all time?
Hype and expensive 3D movie tickets.
And that's Avatar.
So it's everyone's fault.
The Shaun and Nathan Show is brought to you by Skinny White Boy Productions, executive produced by Nathan Ogilvie. For more information, head to www.skinnywhiteboy.com.